I'm Barry Tramel, and I say in the Super Bowl, the people's choice should be the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know why, but I've got a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for the Pittsburgh Steelers. From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. Press Row is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. Barry, both of these franchises, very storied franchises. Some people love to hate them, some people love them, but if you don't have a team in the fight, you say the Packers are the team people should be choosing here.
Well, I think it just comes down to the quarterbacks. I can understand why people have a soft spot for the Steelers. I don't know why anybody would have a soft spot for Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, he's made a nice recovery from the dregs of society, the river sewer in which he was living until the last few months. But still, compare the past of Ben Roethlisberger to the past of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers sits there and has to apprentice behind Brett Favre, has to sit there and keep his mouth shut while that entire soap opera plays out. Didn't do anything except played it low key, played it class. When he got his chance, he's become one of the NFL's best quarterbacks. I think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are easy to cheer for.
Well, if you're going to start looking for guys with their names on a police blotter, every team's got them. That's the sad state of affairs in sports nowadays. You know, obviously Ben Roethlisberger playing that quarterback position, it's high profile. But every team's got somebody that has caused a black eye at some point or other when it comes to records and run-ins with the law. But the reason I like the Steelers is because last night, as I was watching the trophy presentation after that championship game, you see Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers, standing up there with the Rooneys, the owners of the Steelers for many, many years. The Rooney Rule, which the NFL now has, that has teams to interview at least a minority candidate when they have a job come open. And here's Mike Tomlin. He's the youngest coach to ever win a Super Bowl. Now he's going back to the Super Bowl with a chance to win another one before he turns 40. And obviously, you know, it was poetic justice to see him standing up there, the employee of the Rooneys, and now going back to the Super Bowl. That's, to me, Barry, a reason to love the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, I'm a big Rooney fan. I love the Rooney family, going back to Art Sr., one of the patriarch of the early days of the NFL, and Dan Rooney is maybe the classiest guy the league has ever seen. On the other hand, if you want every man for an owner, go to Green Bay, where the city of Green Bay and tens of thousands of little people own a tiny piece of the franchise. Green Bay is one of the great stories in American sports, in American business. It's a city that's a little bit bigger than Lubbock, Texas, and yet it's got an NFL franchise that ranks with the greatest of all time. So I think Green Bay is a throwback franchise. It's a throwback. It's a throwback enterprise, a place that still plays pro football against the Gothams of the world, and I like everything about the Packers. I even like the uniforms. They have largely the same uniforms they had when Bart Starr was throwing to Max McGee in the first two Super Bowls. So give me Green Bay in Super Bowl 45.
Well, you talk about uniforms, you talk about history. I mean, the Steelers have it too. When you see those black jerseys, those gold pants, who doesn't sort of get a little nostalgic for the days of old? Heck, the Steelers got nostalgic for the days of old yesterday. They had Franco Harris awarding the championship trophy on the podium. These guys are as much a part of the NFL lore as the Green Bay Packers. I think this is a really fitting matchup. You know, we've had a lot of teams over the last few years sort of be surprise teams that have come up and showed us the parity that's in the NFL. But to have these two franchises who've both had their struggles over the years, but now are obviously in a great spot playing in this game. I still think the Steelers are the team that my heart's going to be pulling for in this game, but either one of these teams, I think if you don't have a team in this fight, you still got something to love in both of these teams. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.